Welcome back to Potty Gardening, and I'm Helen, and today I am feeding my inner child with some indoor winter gardening just to keep the growing season going a bit and to keep up with a little bit of fresh food, and also some plants as well, some house plants that are ready to be potted on, and their little plantlets need to be repotted as well. But I'm going to start today because I'm going to go back to the aero garden, which is a very simple system. They're not cheap to buy, but they are great fun. And I think what's wonderful about them is that, you know, if you live in an apartment block, if you live, 20 stories up with no garden, if you've got just the base of that space anywhere, then you can grow some vegetables or herbs. This one, I've got the pack, the Heirloom salad greens, because I do love salad even in the winter, so that'll keep it going, and we just can't do it outside at all. I bet you can hear the dogs running everywhere now, so I'm going to open that ready. But it's a hydroponic system, and that means that it just grows in the water. Well, basically the seed is already embedded. These dogs, too much. The seed is embedded in a little coconut hair tube, and we'll see those in a moment. Right. Jackie from Potty Gardening is struggling a bit with the dogs today. But that's what they are basically. They're just these funny little plant tubes, like a little net, and it's got the seed inside there. And they all go in here, but we'll do those in a moment because I'll show you the actual machine first. So the water goes in there, and that's a water pump, and it also has a gauge. Don't fill above there or fill to there. So basically everything's going to go into the water and be circulated with a little bit of plant food as well. And that plugs in nicely. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fill this with water. And I like to use even...
I'll cut that out, don't worry.
Oh dear. No, don't. Don't cut that out, Jackie Gone Potty. Because let's everyone see it, warts and all. So I filled that up there with rainwater. Just have to make sure it's not full of loads of insects and bits and pieces, so it doesn't clog up your water filter. And this does come with some liquid plant food. Now you could probably do your own if you've got some worm tea or some comfrey juice, but I'm just going to do this one as it comes from the shop, and you can buy these kits and the aero garden itself from places like Amazon. And I've got to see how much I've got to put in now, and I haven't got my reading glasses, but never mind, we manage, don't we? So this needs 2 capfuls at start up, and then every 2 weeks. So I put in 2 capfuls, and the little pump will circulate that around. So I'll put one there as well. And let's just clean out the top and get as much in there as possible. So these are Heirloom salad greens, and in a few weeks you'll soon see that we've got plenty of indoor salads, which is nice. And we just cut them off as we need them when we're making a meal. Right, so that's that. Now the other great thing about this is it has its own light for growing. So, if you've got quite a dark room, or you haven't got a windowsill free, but you've got a little corner of the room, you can literally grow it anywhere. You can grow it in your bedroom if you want, but I don't know if you want, but you don't have to worry about the light, and it doesn't have to be on a windowsill, and that's what's really great. Now with all these settings and that, what will happen is that it'll tell me, it'll flash up a light when I need to top up the water. And as the plants grow more and more, they obviously use up more water, and so you have to check more or less every couple of days that the water level's fine. But then I'm going to put the plantlets in now. So what have we got here? We've got deer tongue. I think this is the same kit we had before when I was doing it. But it does kind of take me back to, oh yeah, and you've got these little cloches, little plastic cloches. It does take me back to childhood, you know, like when you'd grow cress seeds on a piece of cotton wool or paper towel and that. And I think that's lovely. And there's a big sort of thing, isn't there, about feeding your inner child, and people going back to stuff like adult colouring books and really enjoying it. Now, as I fill all these, I just want to let you know that if you keep these, you can get refillable starter soil things, coconut hair things. They're already pre-made, and you can put your own seeds in. So I'm going to very carefully keep these and extract the roots when the plants are finished, and we can grow whatever we like. So what have we got there? We've got black seeded Simpson. Let's just pop them in first, and then I'll put the little cloches on. So I'm just popping all those in, and I'm just going to put the little cloches on. And I'm not going to start it up here. I'm going to take it down to the spare bedroom, where that is where everything's going to grow, because we've got some other things to grow as well. We've got some chilli seeds to try from the chilli that never stops giving plant, and we've also got some spider plantlets to plant, but I'll be using a different system to the aero garden, so that'll go down to the spare room and it'll all be turned on down there. So we'll catch you in a moment. Okay, so for the seedlings and the plantlets, I'm going to use this system, and this is basically they're just basically grow lights on a tray, but this tray has some wicking in, and what you can do is you can add some water along the bottom. It'll keep that nice and damp, and the idea is this capillary system, this capillary matting. Then the plant pots can draw up this water, so you don't have to water every day. But I'm not going to use that this time. We'll get rid of that. I'm actually going to put a heat mat, because the room it's going in is very cold, and the heat mat, very, very gentle heat, like people use for brewing beer or making wine, just very, very gentle. And I'll just look after the watering myself. And this canopy can, you know, come down. You just unscrew it and it can come lower. And there we have the lights, so they'll get the good light that they need for growing. So again, it doesn't need to be on the windowsill, but it's just feeding my inner child of inner indoor gardening child, I guess. So that's a really good thing, and that'll go down with the aero garden, and they're all going on a desk in the spare room. And like I said, it's a bit cold down there, so we'll put the heat mat on there, and we'll be away. So the next thing is to do the plants and put it on there on the heat mat. Now I'm going to work on the chilli seeds that we took from the chilli plants that just keep on giving. And I've saved some here, and they're ready for planting. I've got to put a pinch of those in an envelope for Joyce, because Joyce has very kindly shared some seed with us. So there's a few in there for Joyce, probably about 20 or 30, and they'll be on their way to Joyce, so that's lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3, and I'll put 3 seeds in each, and the strongest one will be the one that we continue growing, if it all works okay. We hope it does. So I'm just going to fill those with some nice compost for sowing, and I'm going to get it right to the top there. These are going to go on under the lights on the heat mat. It's a lovely feeling of getting your hands in the soil, isn't it? I love it. I don't like having to constantly wash them, but, well, I do like having to wash them. I like having clean hands, but What I mean is it's a bit of a pain, isn't it, getting it all out of your nails and everything. Now I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, and that is I'm going to water the soil before. I'm going to drench it through because these are so light, and I find this with tomato seeds and anything that's a really light, I mean most seeds are light, but it's spinach and that. I plant it all by the instructions and then I go and water it and they all float off everywhere. So I'm going to make the soil wet before I even put them in, and if it drains right through, that's no problem because I've put a nice tray there. I just, yeah, you see it's going straight through. I might even have to put some little plastic, what do they call it, drip trays or whatever, underneath, because they're draining so well, and that means they'll dry out incredibly quickly. So 3 chilli seeds, I'll do 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. Let's hope we're successful. Whoops, no, not so far. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to push that. It's actually got 4, but hey, we'll see which one is the strongest one. 1, 2, 3. I'm just using an old, a very old rusty screw for this. So I'll get a little bit of iron in it, in the soil. And that's the 3rd there. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think these are going to need saucers, aren't they? Plant saucers, plant pot saucers. So that's 1, 2, 3. I think 2 of them might have popped in there, but well, we'll just deal with that if they take off. So they're ready to go. And now we move on to the spider plantlets. And they've got some nice little root systems forming, so they're ready to be potted up again, and we can just keep the good plants going this way. Now in this, I'm just going to dip a little bit there and shake them off and put some rooting powder. As much as possible, we like everything to be natural and organic here, but these are house plants, and this rooting hormone gives it a nice boost, so we're not eating them. But I'm just going to add a little bit there for stability, and that's 2 very thin ones together. Now the others are a little bit more robust, so let's just dip a little bit in the water in the tray. Very handy, it's already there, and in we go. Try not to break it. Of course these are going to go under the lights and the heat mat as well. So here's the last one. There's a really nice, I don't know what you call it, a bunch of roots, a gaggle of roots, a group of roots, a root of roots, I don't know, but there's a whole load of roots. And so my hope is that that's going to be a very strong one. I'm just going to put that down a bit deeper. It seems a little bit thicker than the others. So they're all going to go down. So we've got now ready for the lights and the heat mat, the chili pepper plants. Hopefully they will germinate, and the spider plants, so we'll have more house plants. Let's see how it all goes. So here we are set up in the spare room, and the lights are on for the spider plantlets, the chili seeds, and the AeroGarden, which will do itself, but they're really down low at the moment. As they grow, we raise the lights, and all I've got to do is remember at night to come in and turn off the light on the chili seedlings and the spider plants. Now the heat mat will stay constant until it's not needed, but we probably will need it until they're ready to go in the kitchen. So that's the setup. That's my little inner child indoor gardening. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I'm Gone Potty Gardening, and Gone Potty Indoor Inner Child Gardening as well. Bye for now.
Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.